Hello and welcome to day 3 of Advent of Code. If you're interested in the first videos, I've posted a link in the description to the first two challenges. And for today, the challenge is called Rucksack Reorganization. So one of our elves was in charge of loading all of the rucksacks with supplies for a jungle journey. And of course, being alone and not pairing with anyone, he made mistakes. And it's our job to help him figure out what mistakes he made. So we're given a list of rucksacks for our task, which is this input file right here. Each row represents a rucksack filled with items. An item is basically the character. And each rucksack is divided into two compartments of the same length. This is very important. So basically, this is the rucksack. If it has 24 items, that means that the first 12 characters are the first compartment, and the next 12 characters are the second compartment. And our job for the first part of the challenge is to find an item that appears in both compartments and calculate its priority. So if you have this rucksack right here, if you just take a look, you will see that P appears in both parts of the rucksack. So how do you calculate the priority? Priority lowercase items are from A through Z, 1 to 26. So if you have the alphabet, it's basically where in the alphabet that character is. So for P, lower P, it's 16. And if you had an uppercase character, it starts at 27 and it goes through 52. I made a simple string to help you calculate the priority. So you have the lowercase characters and the uppercase characters, and I've added them up with an empty space at the beginning so you can use index of and get the exact priority. So with that in mind, we have to find the priority of each item in each rucksack and add it all together. So to get started, let's first create our rucksacks input. We need to transform the input file in something we can iterate over, like always, and we're gonna break it at new lines. So we're gonna have these, we're gonna do a for each. So for each rucksack that we have, we want to go through each character in the rucksack. But if we have two compartments and it's always equal, we can skip going through all of it and just go through the first part. So our goal is to go through each character, and if that character is in the second part, we calculate its priority and we add it to a total. So let's start with the first part. This should be lower than the length divided by 2. We don't want to go all the way through. P++. And our item is basically the index, the rucksack at index y. And to calculate if it exists in the second part of the string, we just have to create a string that is from the middle to the end. So let's do that. We can do rucksack.substring. It's gonna start at rucksack length divided by 2, and we want it to be of length the half of it. And we just have to check that it includes the item. And if it does include the item, we want to calculate its priority. Let's declare a variable total priority. Prioritize here. And we're gonna do it's equal to this plus priority of our item. And we want to exit the for once we found it. And now that we have our functionality, all that is left is to console log the result. We can just run it and we get 157. And this is for part 1. Part 2, the elves realized that they want to group their rucksacks by 3. So instead, given the same input file, instead of checking just one rucksack, they want to see the first, the second, and the third, and see which item first appears in all three rucksacks, and then check the next three. And basically, if in our case the first is Z, which uppercase Z, which has priority 52, and lowercase r, which has priority 18. So if you can look at this, you can see that lowercase r appears here, lowercase r appears here, and lowercase r appears here. So it appears in all three rucksacks, and we have to find the priority of this file. So before we start, let's declare a second priority variable that starts at 0. And then instead of going through each rucksack, we just want to group them in groups of 3. So we want a for loop that starts at 0, and instead of going all the way through, we want to go just to rucksacks dot length divided by 3, and instead of going +1, we want to improve the y variable by 3. So we have now groups of 3 items. And our rucksack, we want it to be an array so we can iterate. So it's gonna be rucksacks of y. This is our string, and we're gonna split it into an array. And then we want to use the every function to check if an item, so we have an item and we're going to use every instead of for each, because every can be broken out of. As soon as every finds a false statement, it breaks out of the every loop, and you can get out of the loop quicker. A for each has to go through all the items. So here we're gonna check if lines so basically the next rucksack includes our item, and the next one, so the third one, so here we need to put y plus 2. So we have this if, that means that we found our item that exists in all our, and we can just calculate the priority plus priority index of item. And we want to return false so that this breaks the every loop. And if not, we're just gonna return. Okay, I see the mistake. We're not getting the last element here, so we need to go through length plus 1. And now if we run it, we get the desired 70 input. Thank you for your time, and if you like, subscribe and get ready for day number 4. Hopefully I get the video up later today.